Alright, so today, I want to do a review because Switch. I really want to play more of JoJo Bizarre Adventure. So we're just gonna do a review if that's okay. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 was great. So the story starts off with like this video game thing, where like about like Buzz, and he's like, doing this. And then, and then gets trapped by Zurg, and it's really funny. It's like a zzz. It's really hilarious. And then he has to fight, and then he dies, and then pretty impressive graphics for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, Rex is playing it with this mysterious head thing. I don't know what that is. And then when he's like, "Where's my hat?" And then Bo's like, "Here's the hat." And and then Woody gets with him, but then he accidentally rips it, so he can't go camp with him. And then he sees Squeaker, and then he has a dream, and it's like really funny. He's like, "Oh my goodness, he's back!" And then he's trying to play with him, but then he's like, "Oh, I forgot, you're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore." That is so funny. And then he puts him like in the cars, and then it's like deep into the trash, and he's like, and then the thing's like, oh, it's really funny. I like it. But then his mom starts a garage sale, and but then Squeaker gets in, and then the dog comes here. He's all cartoonishly too. I love that. And when he tries, and Andy helps him, but he doesn't do anything. I really think that's pretty funny. Pretty funny. So he saves him, but he presses him so he makes sure he's safe. But then, I'm not joking here, this is like an actual, like, Chud and a Scalper in 1999. That's saying, man, that's really good prediction, Pixar. So yeah, he tries to get him so he can get money for dollars. So yeah, they also revealed that he's from the Chicken Cluck Cluck Chicken thing. So they go there with, and yeah, the story's pretty good. I like it. The characters are great, and the jokes are really funny. Well, I think. I mean, some of them are really good. Like, yeah, it's really good. So then we go back, and we see, like, his Rudy Granny Roundup, Jesse, a wild character, and Galloping Horse. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, guys. I know he's a very important character. Please forgive me. And then we got Prospector, who's like in a box because he's pretty rare, I guess. And he sees his collection, and he's like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And then he even see this like TV. But then that it's like Woody's Roundup, but it couldn't finish because of the astronauts, yeah. But then he says, "I got a kid named Andy," and then Jesse suddenly breathes really hard, like, and then she's like, "You're Andy's toy," and she's arguing with him. Really mysterious. So then meanwhile, we see them trying to go to Albard, but these cars are going in, so they disguise themselves as clones, and it's really funny because all these cars just get crashed, and it's so funny. And then meanwhile, we see back where Woody, also his like arm gets broken, by the way. Woody tries to get his arm back, but then the TV went off, and then Jesse and Woody fight. And then they fight, and then Practices says, "Hey, stop, yo!" Megan. And then meanwhile, we get back to it, and then and they try to find it, and then Buzz split up with these like toys, the Buzzes, but with like in the belts, and then he fights with them, and he's like that, and then he gets trapped with it, and then he tries to go somewhere else. I really think that's funny, and joins with the toy crew with Barbie in back. Well, kind of. I don't know. And then they go to the hotel, and they go there, and then Buzz gets on top and goes to them and uses something to work it. But then Zurg comes in, and then we go back to Woody and crew, and he gets fixed. Also, by the way, the old man is some short picture. Yeah, I don't know. And then he's fixed, and Jesse argues him, but there's a reason why. You see, back then, Jesse also had a friend named Emily. She played with her. Also, it's really good music. But suddenly, she doesn't want to play with her anymore. And Emily grew up and like dressing and stuff. And years later, she sees Jessie. She says she thought maybe she could play with her. Smile. But then she gets donated in a box for any. It's really good how they can do it, and the silent effect is good. It continues. So then, Woody tries to escape. You know, the vacuum. But Patricia says, "Do you want, to grow up?" So he doesn't want to, and continues with the party. And then they do this like dance party or something. I don't know. It's like the Woody's. I don't know. But then they go and then and tries to stay with Woody. But then the real Buzz comes in, and they try to think who it is. But then they just and they freeze. So that's pretty good. And then they have this really good like. After this, he tries to help them to go, but he argues that his kid's gonna grow up, and then Buzz says, "You get a toy!" And then Woody says, "How?" For all along, until I get out of the box. It's really, really good. And then they go in. Then he sees a TV with a friend, and they got a friend, and he looks at it. Looks like the books. See, even I think the lines should say it. Prospector, I know that Woody can't stop growing up, but I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's really good. And then Jesse and the dog tries to join in with him. So yeah, Woody tries to talk with him, but then Woody tries to talk to Prospector, but Prospector is out of his box. And then he's revealed he's the twin villain, and he's the one who did the remote. And then it's also revealed that he's like, oh, how a nickel dime store went in and everything gets stolen or something like that. So yeah, now they're trapped, and now the crew try to save them, but then the Zurg! And then they have this really good fight with the false Buzz or something, and then he says, "You killed my father," and then the greatest joke ever. Or joke parody ever, and Zurg says, "No, I'm your father." No! Yeah, it's so funny. And then Rex defeats Zurg, and then the fake Buzz says, "You go. I'm gonna catch up with like that." That is so perfect cinema. And then they go to the plan to save Buzz, but then Woody gets beaten. Try to go, but then he gets beaten by Prospector, and he's like, or one rip and you're screwed. But then they get some cameras and take pictures, and then he goes to put a Barbie bag, yeah, and then they have this like really exciting chase with like a plane, and they're like, woo! And then the Buzz is like riding a horse, and it's like really good. And then everything's all happy. Andy gets his new toys, and then the child is like, no. I'm serious, that's what it is. And then Woody says to infinity and beyond with Buzz, if to stick around with them. This is pretty good. And then the Pucker thing got his voice back. He's like, "Good friend in me." And that is it for Toy Story 2. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good movie. Got some good stuff. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10, a Western approval, and that'll be it. So yeah.